Hello everyone, welcome to Marlin Chess Kids. Today I'll show you the game played by Thomas and Loic, and this game complete in only 22 moves. And let's see how the game played. The game starts with the pawn to d4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, e4, and here after these three moves, the white is slightly better with the pawn control the center of the board. And the black play d6 to prevent the pawn push further to e5. After this, the white continue with the f4 pawn, and this is a very strong move. And here you have Pirc defense Austrian opening the bishop and preparing for a short castling. Then knight f3, and the black go for a short castling. And here is the first fine move, and you can see now the position is equal. And the game continue with the pawn to e5, and this pawn trying to attack the knight, forcing black to capture the pawn. So after this, the pawn capture, d takes e5, and now the f pawn takes e5. And here you can see that the white is slightly better with this pawn in the center of the board and keep on the pressure of the black and attack the black pieces. And this will limit the black activity, and the knight need to move away from the board. So in this game, the knight moved to d5, trying to get control of the center. And after this, the white continue to bring the bishop to c4, and this bishop is trying to attack the knight with another knight attack it, and also it allowed the black to go for a short castling. After this, the knight to b6, and this knight goes back and trying to attack the bishop. Therefore, the bishop goes to bishop b3 and maintain the pin of the pawn and diagonal attack towards the king. So after this, the knight to c6 keep on develop, and the bishop to e3 develop another bishop for the white, and knight to a5 trying to and go for the exchange by capturing the bishop b3, because this bishop at b3 is pose a very strong threat towards the black, and the pawn at the f cannot be pushed up. So this is a 10 move, the first 10 move, and the white is still slightly better in the position. And the game continue with the white go for a short castling, and after this b3 was after this knight b to c4 was played, knight b to c4 keep on develop, and now the bishop capture, bishop takes c4, and the knight takes c4, and also the black is attacking the pawn to win the queen. And here the position has become equal in this game. So the queen just goes to d3, sacrificing a pawn, and this allowed the black to capture the pawn, and also you can capture the bishop. And let's see what happens if you capture the pawn, and this fetch pawn will be a poison. If you capture the pawn, then the queen will goes to b5, and this knight will be trapped b5 and attack the knight, and this knight will be trapped as there is no place the knight can escape. So this is a very simple trap by capturing a pawn, and you lose a knight. So let me press the knight. You can see it's all a bad position for the knight to move. Anyway, the knight move, you will be losing a piece of the knight. So if you move a pawn to c5, then you can just capture the knight first. or even you can just use the pawn to capture and later slowly you just capture the knight. So after queen to d3, b5 was played, and after that b3 was played trying to attack the knight, and now the knight goes to a3, protecting the pawn and also able to attack the pawn. Another better move will be pushing the bishop up and attack the queen, and can able to capture the pawn at c2. So if you develop the bishop to f5, this will remain the position to be equal. After this, queen to e2, then the knight just capture, and after queen capture, then you can just use the pawn to b4 and attack the knight. So after knight a3 was played, then the knight to e4. This will remain white the better position. After this, b4 was played, and now the knight f to g5. Continue attack with the double knight. And after this, h6 was played and to attack the knight. Another suggestion you can play is use this pawn, and after knight to back to f3, then you use the bishop to pin the knight, and this knight cannot be moved, and this structure will be better for the black. So h6 was placed in this game, and after this the white push e6 trying to attack and block and win the pawn at f7, therefore, and sacrificing the knight. So in the actual game, the pawn capture the knight, and after this the pawn capture and check the king, and if you move the king to h8, then the knight will just continue to capture the pawn. Knight takes g5, such as make an example move like a6, then the queen can just capture the pawn and preparing to checkmate at h7. So after capture the pawn, and if you any move such as bishop to e5, then you just capture the bishop, and any move such as rook takes the pawn, then you can go to queen h7 checkmate. So this is the idea to checkmate with the queen. And same goes as if you move the king to h7 to protect the pawn, knight can just capture the pawn and check the king. And again, if your king come up to defend it, then now you just bring another rook to f4 and checkmate at the king at the side. So rook to f4 was played, can be played, and if you move the bishop to defend it, such as bishop to nothing much, you can defend this. Or if you want to capture the knight, then you can have a double check, the rook check and the bishop check, and the queen is protecting it, and now the king cannot back to this square. So the only way to move is to move to king g4 or h4. Let's say if you move the king to g4, then you have queen to e4 checkmate. So the king in the center of the square is very easily to get a checkmate from the white. So at this position, king h7 and king h8 will be a very bad move for the black. And the only way to play is to capture the pawn with the rook. And after capture the pawn with the rook, then the white just capture back, and the king capture back is a mistake, because after king capture you have the knight check, and this knight check, the king goes to g8, And now the queen takes the d6 and trying to have to f1 to control the f file, and you have a queen checkmate at queen h7 checkmate. So after this move, queen f8 was played, and in the actual game, queen h7 is a very beautiful checkmate. And back to this position, if you move example move such as a6, then you have a rook to f1, and after a rook to f1, if your queen comes to f8, then you have a queen checkmate. And if you prevent with the bishop to a6 to prevent the check, the rook to f1, then the queen will go to h7, and after king goes to f8, then the knight will come to e6 and check the king, and will be winning the queen. So you have many ideas to play for the white, and definitely will be winning in this game if the white is clearly winning. And with this, thank you.